So. Nah, you're good. I know, Jessica. Alright, so, moving on. Yep. No need to check. Oh, that's not wide enough. Time to get to work. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2. Here we go. Now I gotta get me a decent flat head, which is right here. If any of you guys do not know, what's up 817, waving a hand. If any of you guys don't know how Andersons work, they're fairly simple. They have a spring retention clip on the base of them. So what you do is push it to the side, use any flat head you got, as long as it's long enough, and push that little clip down. It's not long enough, so I gotta get a longer one. And I just so happen to not have it. See, you can try to make something else work. See what happens. Yes, it works. See, all you're doing is dropping pins out. There's a 4-aught lead. There we go. So you see the wire. There's some wire. I'm gonna keep pulling the pins. Y'all can watch the wire for a second. There we go. That's that one. 1, 2. I'll do another one. Probably won't use this housing. This is my, in case y'all guys saw my last video, it's my my mallet housing. I'll keep that personally.
She's asleep.
Alright, here we go. So now we're ready to start. Not all Anderson connectors have the same. What's up, pile driver? Waving a hand. Not all Anderson connectors have the same insert. You'll have to look specifically at the base of the pin just to see what it is. This one in particular. Oh, you sneaky little boogers. Let me take a look at these. 1, 2. Aha! See, I needed to look for myself. I don't carry this very often, and I don't have it very often. But I just so happen to have some 3-aught pins. That would have been fun for me. So there's me another 4-aught pin. If you guys haven't been following, I'm using 4-aught wire, and 4-aught wire is not the same as 3-aught. 4-aught is much larger than the other wire. This is just pretty much just regular with some of these. Some of these are different colors and stuff like that. It just depends on where they've been stored. It's not oxidation or pitting or anything. It's just the coating they have on them. It seems like different batches have different colors. Like some are shinier and some are not. Alright, moving on. One more. So we got to find one more real quick. Alright, so that's well, I'll show you all in a little bit. I'll do the last one whenever I get around to it. Alright, but so what we're gonna start with is terminals. So on each one of these up, I've got my little drill bit that I've been using. Extra battery for some reason. If he wants to sit, get in that chair.
Do you want to sit or do you want to go play?
He took your stand. No, you're not sitting on a battery, buddy. Alright. I got my little helper coming out here and some company to just hang out. Alright. So, the reason I'm doing this without putting my hands near it is just so I don't simply drill into my hand. You can have a drill press, have a vise, have whatever the heck you want to have, and it'll do just fine. So, don't. Yeah. Next. What's up, Rocky, and whoever else is hanging out? look, DWB, I'm not sure. I can't look at my phone very well. Make sure I remember everybody's names with their handle. In case you don't know what I'm doing, just hang out. You'll see. There's a method to the madness here. So, it's a perfectly good copper lug. What's he drilling into it for? I told you guys on one of these other videos that I'd show y'all what the other lugs look like, and I didn't. I may do that if I can finish this stuff in a timely manner. Sit down. If you're drilling on something and it's constantly walking on you, get any sort of punch and just start your hole. He can't fit. He just needs to sit over here somewhere. I can tell you that now. Alright, so clean up my shavings a little bit and then we'll get back to work. Because I don't really feel like having shavings on the bench. Alright. Alright, here we go. Now, this is the hot spot. The hot situation, whatever the heck you want to do. I just got to make sure I get enough room on the bench to not have to worry about heat. I did this with a torch, so you guys can kind of follow along. Sup, number 4, waving a hand. I'm trying to keep an eye on my thing a little bit more so I can wave at you guys when you're coming in, so I can say hello. Sit down. In case you guys didn't know, this is a double jacketed wire. So double jacket means I've got to cut through the inner and the outer core of the jacket, so that's why you'll see me work a little harder on this thing to knock it off. You can kind of cheat with anything. Once you scour it, you can kind of grab it. We got a grammar Nazi over here. I might have to kick him out. Score! I think I can use. I know how to spell it, so I'll say it that way. All right, so it's still tight, so it's a bit of a pain. Don't be working with this wire expecting to be working on an 8 gauge or something. It's not the same. I'll tell you that up front. It's not the end of the world to work with. It's definitely not your average 8 gauge or your small wire. Alright, there we go. This wire is somewhat over spec, so using a just in spec terminal means I have to work fairly hard at making sure it fits in and does what it needs to do. Alright, so what I'm doing here is just creating a stand for my wire and trying to get the wire in a position that I want it. So, aha, I remember what I did. I was the one who held it in place. So, there we go. I can just be a regular stand. Alright, so from here, all I need to do is stop it from moving. So I just get anything heavy that I've got, no matter what it is. It's just stopping it from sliding down and going into a different position than I want it. I'll kind of have it over here a little bit closer to me. I was going to show you guys a little bit, but y'all can kind of see it from there. Keep it from walking. And just so y'all know, just from that distance, of course I've done this a lot in my life, but just enough to knock off some hairs off my arm. So always be careful when you're doing that. Yeah, even that far away it will. So always be careful when you're working with that. Don't kind of follow my advice when I just reached over that. I generally am able to reach far enough away, but I can always make a mistake. I've yet to make one, but I can always make a major mistake with anything like that and burn myself in the process of one of these. So that was about the closest I've ever come, but your hairs will burn at very low temperature. I suppose I am on live feed, so I'll scoot a little closer for you guys to see better. Maybe. Alright. Alright, so maybe I'll see better than that. It's better now. Put it a little closer for y'all. I'll have to deal with the wire a little bit more, but I don't mind. I'd rather just share with y'all and let y'all see it. Gotta find a better position for this. You have to turn it down. I don't care about it as long as ain't no echo. Alright, so I'm just gonna move this around. I want to show y'all a little bit more. I could have easily soldered where I was at, but I'd like to let y'all see. I'm sure y'all are hanging out to be able to see, not just to watch me doing something off by myself. So I'll bring it a little closer. So I'm gonna have to work this at a different angle, but might as well. Huh? Oh yeah, easily. You can get a bench vise for anything like this, but I use my bench for multiple different things, not just 4-aught builds. So when I'm doing this with 4-aught, this is just one of the facets that I do on this bench. You can easily get a bench vise, you can get a clamp, you can get anything you want. I think I actually have something. Whatever, no. I'm not wasting time. I could show you, but whatever. The reason I'm doing it this way is one, because I'm about to work on some heliacs after this, and there's not much point in me setting up a vise, screwing it, and drilling it to my table when I don't use this all the time for this. So. But this is actually more difficult to show y'all with a short run. I've got a 15-foot run of wire, and I can handle it easily. But this is a little bit more frustrating. Apple juice, so, just in case anybody asks.
Willie said bench vise too.
Yeah, bench vise is fine. The only reason y'all see me fiddling with this is because I am right here and trying to show you guys. I guess a bench vise would be very beneficial to show you guys too. But for me, I've done this for years without one, but it's definitely whatever. You guys are gonna make me dig it out. I'll dig something out.
Yeah, blame it on them.
Well, no, I can work on it.
Bye bye.
You gotta share it with them.
I'm like 4 minutes behind.
And No, actually wasn't that far behind. Alright, so they're going to have to hang up for a second because they said get a bench vise. So now I've got to find a clamp. I forgot where the heck I put it. Oh Lord, I'm not digging that out. Maybe I'll have one over here. Whatever. Alright. Since my vise is buried underneath a gigantic pile of mess, I'll show y'all something MacGyver. Because I've done it before, might as well show you again.
You just sat down and you were getting back up.
Yeah, I know, right? So, you think I could use this. It doesn't really matter. This is just anything to hold this in a stand. So, what I'm going to do... Get that out of the way. There you go. Whatever. So, now this is just to show y'all. I can use the C-clamp, but I'm just not going to. The reason I'm doing it is because I want to get it at an angle where y'all can see. And that's kind of my whole goal. Because if I put it at an angle where I can see, you can't. So... I can kind of work with whatever, so it doesn't really make a difference to me. So I'm just really trying to be nice to you guys. Yes, something else with weight. That is correct. That is exactly what I'm looking for. This is just to add weight. It's not to do anything else. You see, I could use the C-clamp, but... Alright, so... Now you guys can see maybe a little better. This is just, I'm not going to dig out my vise because it's under a pile of about 300 pounds of wire. So I'm not about to dig that out. What you'll see is it doesn't wick fast enough, so I'm letting it get hotter. There you go. There you go. Now you guys maybe got to see that a little bit better. So here we go. Yeah, no, I don't think I'll have any trouble with that. Alright, so that's pretty much the gist of it. That's got this one done. So what I do from here is let it cool off and work on another one. You can't solder or do anything with this stuff or do much heat shrink with it. I could try, but I'll show y'all what happens. Oh yeah, you can do pretty much whatever you want. I've got literally hundreds of tools and all kinds of different stuff, and I could use this 10 different ways from Sunday. But I'm not about to dig out of a pile of mess back there. Here you go. I'll just share, because y'all will understand just how much stuff I have. I have probably 3,000 foot of wire at least on hand, about 400 and something foot celiacs, about 400 something foot of 4-aught, about 20 some odd batteries. I mean, stuff out the daggum union. That's heliacs back there. Another 1,000 foot of wire just sitting out back on the spool on the pallet. So, I mean, like I said, this is a temporary bench. And I mean when I say temporary, because got some stuff underway for something else to happen. But needless to say, it's just something. This is a bench I put together in literally 30 minutes. So this is not your professional grade bench with all your different parts and everything. And somebody who's been doing this stuff for years, this specific task. I will have a specialized bench, but I will not have it here. So that's kind of my explanation. So you can see kind of the problem. Whenever I add this on here, if it was any hotter, then what would have happened is the heat shrink has already started to shrink down. It's just because this terminal's so hot. So. Yeah, I have actually another blue vise I could have used that I could have just brought from work that we just took down. But like I said, same thing, just at this point in venture, it's not, I may not even use this table later. I may have a whole nother table that I build. So this is literally a transmission table that I built to work on a couple of my own transmissions and never got around to it. I ended up paying another guy to do it, so I built the transmission table and never used it. So I made a coax bench out of it. And then on occasion I'll work on some 4-aught, but I got 400 foot of 4-aught, so I guess I can't say really that it's going to be on occasion. 400 foot, I mean, you'll see quite a few of these builds. You can just get the wire specifically from me. You don't have to get you don't have to get me to build it. I mean, I really don't mind. I mean, y'all see how much time it takes me to build this. You can buy the wire and build it yourself, copy the techniques that I'm using. I really don't use complicated tools also, so that the average person that sees what I'm doing can actually go home and replicate it with tools that they have at their house. So this is, I don't do this to try to look bigger and better than everybody else out there. I do it to just build it for you guys so y'all can hang out and see something cool. I'm gonna have to build it anyway, so I just build it so you guys can watch. So I do not claim to have the best and most advanced equipment or anything else like that. I have some really good things that I sell, but as far as other stuff I got, I mean, I got a couple simple vices. I may have a couple $100 vice somewhere, but I don't know where. I've got 4 different benches, if you guys didn't remember. This is bench number 3. And I've got another vise in underneath that pile somewhere, but I'm not gonna dig it out, like I said. I got this at this angle. It's a bad angle for me, but it's a good angle for y'all. So y'all can kind of see what I'm doing. Not yet. Or yes, that's what I want. Alright, so what you're kind of looking for is just basically, I mean, to really put it simply, I suppose, is you're looking for a bunch of silver in there. You're not looking for any sort of copper look. If you look in there and you see a bunch of copper, you didn't solder well enough. If you look in there and you see a bunch of silver, then that means it wicked and bonded to the copper the way it's supposed to. For you guys who's not been following, I made a vise because people asked me to make a vise. So I'm not about to drill into this table with an actual full bench vise. I thought I had another vise, but I don't have it on me. So don't need to be in your Snapchat. Alright, so this was going to be hot. I was going to show you again, see if I can get away with it. Maybe. Aha! Success. Alright, so. And any of you guys who ask me why I don't use a heat gun, I actually have a heat gun. It's right here. I don't use one for a very specific purpose, and that's because it doesn't work fast enough. So, there you go. Alright, so let's get some more terminals. Get to work. Alright. This is a hot one, so let's put it down here. Watch your toes, watch your toes. Alright, put it over there. And go out this next one. There we go. Alright. Next. Here's another one. I'll get to the Andersons next, and you'll kind of see how they work. I'm no business as usual with the Andersons, the same way that I showed you that on this other stuff. Just simply because it's an easier method for you guys to copy, and y'all don't have to worry too much about how well you do this. So I'm not gonna. What am I doing? I got another terminal to do. So here I am talking about Andersons, about to build one. I'll build the Andersons here in a minute. I just got to finish one more terminal after this one. So 2 more terminals left, and we're on to the Anderson connectors. Most of you guys don't really know how big Anderson makes connectors. They make up to 350 amp connector, which is your 4-aught terminals with your 4-aught pins. That's a 3-aught pin right there. I have a 1-aught pin somewhere. I will. No, that's a 3-aught pin. It's in here somewhere. Whatever. I'll show you guys later. But you have 1-aught all the way up to 4-aught in the 350 connectors. 4-aught being the largest. The next step up would be going to a different style connector. I may get into those soon. I really want to show you guys because I really like them. They may or may not be cost effective. I mean, I really don't care because some of my customers don't care. They just want the best connector they can get. And so far, it's my favorite. So I will show you guys if I can find a customer that wants it, or if I want to build a harness for myself. I may be doing that soon, so we'll see how it goes. All right.
Poor Kayla, like it's climbing all over and put an elbow in the positions.
Alright, so back to the simple vise, just to show you guys. Ta-da! I missed it if y'all asked me any more questions, so sorry. Again, like I explained earlier, this is a bad angle for me, but it's a good angle for y'all, and it really doesn't matter how good I am at this right here. I'm just really at a bad spot to be doing this. But, I'm doing it for you guys. I mean, if you guys can be at least this precise, which is not very precise, then you can build your own. You'll have to watch the temperature that it gets to, and you will see it get too hot. And once you get like too much solder bubbled up in one spot or one location and you want to get it off, literally just take a rag, just like that, and wipe it. It's that hard. There's absolutely no solder left in that location. So you don't have to be the best person in the world at this to make this happen. Always keep a rag in between you and the heat, so just to be safe. There we go. That's what I needed. Move my homemade vise out the way, and you guys see what I've done. So one more to do, and afternoon, waving a hand. All right, on to the next piece. Alright, next one down, one to go. If I can find it. On top of it or something.
These pictures are so cute.
There it is. Alright, here we go. So, here's the next one. Gotta cut it back, and then we're on to the Andersons from here. Alright, so one to go and one to find. Where'd it go? There it is. Alright. So, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask while I'm working. I will try to look up and respond to the best of my ability. So, feel free to ask away. As you see so far, with the 4 that I've done, it's kind of, or the 3 that I've done, it's kind of repetitive, so there's not much for me to do. So I can answer whatever you want to know while I'm working. So feel free to ask. Or watch. Feel free either way. Alright, on to the next one. This is the last one of this. I'll have to do a quick disconnect after this. And then I'll do another piece that I don't really have to share. I just gotta do it. Huh? What? Oh, I got you. Okay. Well, I gotta. My window's getting cut short, guys. So, y'all will probably be done with this live feed by the time it comes around. But we got some pretty good rain coming in, so this is an outdoor shop. So I will not be hanging out to get soaked. What's up, Danny? You can see the rate at how fast my solder is getting wicked in. on how hot I have the terminal. So I have to watch that. If it starts going too fast, then I'll let off heat. If it starts going too slow, then I'll add heat. Go away, piece of fuzz. Alright, so from here, again, it's because of the angle that I'm doing this. I kind of really don't like dripping solder outside of my connector. I like to keep it clean, but I have to show you guys because that's the whole point of these videos. Otherwise, I'm just a butthole that works and doesn't show y'all anything. I mean, some people would be fine with that, but other people would be mad because they came to watch some 4-aught getting built, not watch me sit over in a corner and hold everything over here so y'all can't see. So I'm just trying to, I mean, I do this enough. It's really no bother to me whether I share it or not. So let's do a little longer than that one. There we go. You gotta be careful when you're doing this, so make sure you don't touch the actual terminal, because I mean that terminal's stupid hot right now, and my hand is within a 1/16 of an inch from the actual exposed terminal. So your best bet is to wait a couple minutes before. That's annoying. Okay. I'm not going to leave a split heat shrink on here. Sometimes when heat shrink gets a little sharp edge on it, as you shrink it down, it will split on you. So keep that in mind when you're working with any sort of material. Don't just buy just enough. Make sure you get extra because you're going to need it. There will always be a mistake you will make, and always be something you have to change up or redo. It's not a question, it's just an actuality. Even engineers change their mind multiple times. I know them, I know very well because I deal with them a lot. They definitely change their mind often. That is annoying. So if you look, what caused me all my grief right here is this tiny little bead of solder right there on the corner. It's slicing my daggum heat shrink.
You're so cute.
I do not know everything. I do not see everything every time. And I do make mistakes. So I'm not trying to make myself out like the best builder or the best wire preparer in the world, whatever the heck you'd call me in this particular scenario. But that's what was slicing it. Ta-da! See? Nice and smooth, not split, not cut, not giving me troubles. Afternoon, waving a hand, and I don't think anybody else said anything else. So, now I've got to look at a piece of, well, I would say a piece of paper, but I gotta look at a message and confirm something, and then you'll see me do the Anderson. So,
You caught one?
all right. What you got, buddy?
Show him.
Oh, lightning bug. Don't squish it. Open your hand. Yeah, I see it. Don't let him go. Don't squish him, though. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, that's what I do it for. I do it. If y'all like it, that's the exact reason I do this. Because otherwise, I could continue to building without showing anybody anything.
Well, we're not keeping them, alright? You're gonna have to let them go.
You'll have to bear with me for a second. I've got to confirm. I'm putting the quick disconnect in line, and whenever I do that, I have to put it in the right spot, and he asks for a specific location. So I'm looking for that now. In case y'all know, this is what I'm going to be doing next. So that's what I'm working on. So I need to two. All right.
It's like really muggy out here.
Oh yeah, I mean it just got through raining.
My shirt is wet.
That's what happened. So okay. So he said 2 foot back. So there we go. So what I'm going to do is take my harness right here where I have it prepped. I'm going to get me a nice little handy dandy measuring tape. This is not the most precise work in the world. I'm just getting a general idea where I want to cut. And you get to see what I'm doing next. I got some much bigger ones than these, but I don't need them for this job. This is just what I use for this. I have used anything all the way down, all the way to a drill, a skill saw. A few of you guys got to see that because I didn't have the cutters with me. I have some cutters that will cut up to, what will they cut to? I think 750 PC mil is what they'll cut to. They're about 31 inches long, and they look like this. So. Yeah, they're pretty large. Take the largest set of bolt cutters you can find for the most part, and that's pretty much what they look like. But they have a cutter on the end. All right. No, I just ended up bumping my hand. All right, so I'll do the short ones. Maybe you'd think the short ones are easier to deal with, but they're actually more of a pain most of the time, especially for what I'm going to be doing for you guys, trying to show you this. But it is what it is. So I don't mind showing, I don't mind sharing, and figured I'd let y'all see. Alright, so I'm doing the same thing as I did with the other ones, just to kind of let y'all, I mean, maybe y'all can copy this better than the other method, but I would have to have a mounted vise on my bench for the other setup. With how heavy this wire is, there's no way I could do.
Is your soldering iron hot?
No,
It needs air holes.
let me see it. Alright, we jumping off on a kid's project here. We got a lightning bug holder, and we got, watch out, it's hot. Yeah, don't be touching my stuff. So we making.
That one's hot too, buddy. On that side.
They're all hot, buddy. Yeah, you need to be careful, buddy. I don't know if those air holes are too big or not. Hopefully your bug can't get out.
Well, he's gonna have to set it free before bedtime anyways.
Alright, so now that I've got plenty of plastic on my stuff, a quick way to clean the dirty iron off is
Let me see.
like this with a rag. Make sure you've got it wrapped multiple times so you're not burning yourself. They've also got wool, like steel wool, and they also have got sponges. Sponges would do okay with plastic, but I guess the wool would probably do better. I do a rag because I don't have a dedicated soldering iron set up for this bench. I have a power supply and a soldering iron I use on another bench that I brought over here, but it's not technically dedicated to this job because this is, I mean, you don't put a, let's just say expensive soldering iron out like this for extended durations. It's going to be in a shop, but for now it does what I need it to do in the location that I've got it. Alright, so back on our project. No more kids projects here. Alright, so what I do is just take my terminal, measure it. You kind of see the bevel of the edge right here, so what you're doing is going right before that bevel. Last thing you want to do is try to seat the terminal all the way down, and then you have extra wire sticking out the end. Or at least me, I'm that way. I don't like to see the extra wire. It's not like it's the end of the world if you see the wire, but it's just, I don't know. It just doesn't look right to me. So you'll find me with a smaller wire, if I cut it too long, you'll find me chopping the wire. And I don't really feel like cutting 4/0 wire at the very tip. Cut another one, put them in there.
But how?
How do you? Well, you don't know that for sure. Just open it and see what happens. If you lose it, you can go get another one. You got to learn the tricks of the trade, boy. Alright, so there's your 4/0 terminal. That's actually fairly easy to deal with. See if I can show you the other one. So this is where the trouble comes in when you're working with one like this. That's the 3/0, and Anderson makes their stuff over spec, so you don't have to deal with it as bad. So any of you guys who's trying to put the wrong thing on the wrong item, don't take Anderson lightly and try to use some other terminal just because your Anderson connector fit. Anderson's they're kind of the exception to the rule sometimes. They're a good company. I like what they do, and they build a good product. Anderson copycats, I'm not a huge fan of. I mean, there's a few companies out there that build a quality product, but not many. And that one's thick, just so you know. In case you didn't notice already. What I use to clean up my burrs most of the time is just some sort of little pair of dikes. No matter what you got, you can use whatever. I've got to drill 4 more of these, so I'm just going to leave my shavings in a pile, and then I'll dump them in a minute. So. Seeing as what I saw a while ago, I'm going to do this. Not exactly. I could if I wasn't busy. Yeah, 9 ain't nothing. What are you talking about?
It's not past their bedtime.
Oh Lord, my wife's being a little judgmental towards you guys. So we don't have a bedtime. We go to bed when we want to go to bed. Alright, that was that one. That one, that's 1, 2. I need 1 more. And 1 more is going to be here. So let's collect that one. I don't want that one. That one. There we go. Alright, cool.
Don't squish him.
Careful, don't squish it, bigger. You gotta let them survive later on. Catch them. You gotta catch them again, buddy. All right, so here we go. Boys catching lightning bugs.
Now all I'm going to do is catch 1 more.
Okay.
Whoop, gotta be careful. This is yet another thing a vise is good for. So I kind of mention a vise a bit because it's a very handy tool. I just don't really want to screw into my table that I built for that, for a different purpose, to put a vise on. So I'll keep using this method. Be careful with it. Like I said, just make sure your hand's well away from anywhere this drill bit is, because I'd rather not hear about somebody getting there. Stop it. One, two, three, 4. Alright, so in case you guys didn't know, this is just the same simple task as the other. It's just with a longer connector, so it'll be a little bit more heat, a different way of spreading the heat, just kind of waving over it to spread over more of the contact, and you'll kind of see how it works. I mean, there ain't much different. It's very similar. This is not the only way I solder. This is just the way I solder on this bench. It's the best method that works out the most useful, especially even also when you're using an overspec connector like I mentioned earlier, or in a previous video. So, or overspec wire with a underspec or a regular spec connector, or vice versa. Say a overspec connector with the next size up wire. So whatever. I'll go ahead and strip this one too. Might as well. Nah, never mind. The reason I won't do that is because, sure as the world, whenever I do that, what always happens is you always bump it and you'll fray your wire. So yeah, just don't. Only do what you're working on at that point in time, because it'll always bite you in the butt. When this stuff frays back, it's a pain in the butt to deal with. When it's nice and smooth like that, that's so easy to deal with and handle. So never get too far ahead of yourself, because it will not help you any. You may end up hurting yourself. Sweet. Alright, so aha! Maybe I can do this. Alright. Oh Lord, we got a casualty of war. Somebody's can't wake up anymore. Oh Lord. Aha, maybe I can do this. Somebody mentioned MacGyver. I will try to find any method I can to work with any material I can, especially if I don't have what I need on the hand, because most of the stuff I've got and have ordered from me, people want to get it as quickly as possible, and they don't want to sit there and wait for me to have a particular tool or something on a particular bench. Since I have 4 benches, it's kind of hard to stretch all my tools apart from all those different locations. So that's kind of the struggle. Afternoon, and I already said that. Hello. Hello to anybody new, waving a hand. I'm going to try to see if I can get away with this, to make this go a little faster with these Andersons. We'll see what happens. Alright, this is just a quick way to make your solder bigger than what it actually is. You just wrap a bunch of pieces of solder together and you got a bigger connector, or a bigger solder. What I have to deal with, and I'm gonna have to deal with, is this end right here. I just noticed. It's gonna drive me crazy because I'm gonna have to flatten it out. And there we go. Maybe I can work with it now. Now, the critical thing with the Anderson connectors is to make sure that you never get anything on the body of the top up here. Anything up on this lip or this upper area right here will compromise the connector to some degree. And that's the last thing you want to be doing when you're trying to get the full amount of current out of something, because your junction and your connection points is where your failures are. So you have to be extra careful to make sure you don't do that. So that's another neat little trick to put this at an angle like this. So no matter what, worst case scenario, you're just dumping solder towards the bottom. So that's a quick and easy way to prevent yourself a lot of heartache, especially when you start trying to put these together and they start giving you trouble. Alright, so that's kind of the gist of this one. This one stays a little hot, a little hotter, a little longer than the other. And alright, so I won't need that, it'll be fine. So here's this. Alright. Look this up. And this piece is pretty much done, so I can kind of show you. You can put this in there hot, so don't get too freaked out whenever I do this. Where's your Anderson connector right there? That's one pin in there. So yeah, I've never had any issues with the Anderson connectors melting regardless of heat. So it seems to be they're made very well. Maybe some little off-brand, you might have seen them give you trouble or something like that, but not really had much issue with Anderson specifically. Yeah. All right, so moving on to the next piece. Here we go. Moving on along with this one. So here's the next Anderson connector. So I'll go here.
And now I need 2 more.
You don't need any more, you just want to get some more.
I want to get 2 more.
And that's fine, go get them. Don't say you need them though, you don't need them. Alright, so it's going to drive me nuts, so I got to get that out of here. That's a little piece of fiber. The fiber backing is in between the 2 different braids. It just gives the wire more rigidity, or excuse me, more strength as it moves. It's not rigidity because it's actually still very flexible. It just allows it that strength while it's moving. Alright, so here we go. My little homemade vise is all I'm doing. And literally this is just for you guys. This is not how I normally do it. I can do it without a vise. I can do it without anything. I'm just literally doing it so you guys can see. So just kind of sharing along. It's always best to let the people who are watching see what they want to see, not just see me. So y'all can chill out and see what's going on. Now, I have talked entirely too much about nothing, so if you guys had anything to ask, feel free. We're gonna prep some more solder.
It's Hamp.
What?
Bathing in the rain.
Well, whatever. You can do whatever the heck he wants.
It's completely naked.
You want to bathe in the rain? Go for it. Alright, so alright, so There we go. Cool. Alright, so another neat method about doing this way is you can kind of cheat. Whenever you're doing it the other method that I've done for years, you have to kind of know whenever the solder's bonded by how it feels, and also by the method that you dip it. So whenever you do it this way, you can kind of just look in there and see, hey, does everything look silver? And it is. So there you go. Don't think y'all can see, but I could try. Maybe, I don't know. All right. All right. Next is going to be the longer ends. I probably will not be able to manipulate them as well as these, just because I was able to bend these in a tight bind to keep it in the angle that I wanted. The other ones I could probably manipulate just as well as the ones previously, but that was actually pretty worked out pretty well, especially when I added that little C-clamp. All right, so I'm going to ditch this solder and use this. Watch y'all. Need to kill that before I forget about it. So, oh, I'm prepping for the next one. Y'all see the other two ends of it. This is cooled off enough, so I might as well show you now. There you go. Oh no, mosquito. There you go. It's a 350 connector with two ends on the other end. So, there you go. Still flexible, still able to move, still able to bend. That's the cool thing about 4-aught. It's not like it's stuck. I'm going to put this down and I'll be almost done. 2 more to go. So let's finish wrapping this up. Huh. I'm going to do something stupid. I want to do it. This is retarded, but alright, this is unprofessional, but I'm doing it anyway, just because I want to kind of see how it works. You can kind of do whatever. You can do whatever you want while you're doing something. It really doesn't matter. I'm just trying to have some fun. You gotta have fun every once in a while.
People that wind yarn that way.
Yeah, I know. But I don't have an actual attachment for the end. That's a problem.
Neither do they. They use a hand mixer with a toilet paper roll.
Hand mixer with a toilet paper roll. Darn it. Should have went in reverse.
Yeah, you gotta hold it from a different angle.
That's...
It's steam chunk.
I know, but I've got to put something lower. I don't have the right adapter on here. I wonder if I can use a drill bit. Y'all getting to see the fun stuff. I don't care. I mean, because I'm not trying to be this person that's something that I'm not. And I like to show what I do sometimes, but then I also do some stuff like this. Maybe. Man, it won't bite. Whatever. I give up. Alright. So what I would need is like a little piece with a T-handle, and what that T-handle would do is just spin, 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 spin. There's 100 different tools that will do that. I just happen to have 2 things in front of me, so I didn't feel like doing what I'm doing right now. So laziness can take everybody. Just do it. If you like a woman, you know how to braid hair. You're like, oh, this is the easiest thing in the world. You just flip your fingers like this. Look, there you go. There's the womanly braiding method.
You only have 2 strands.
I know, but you can still. It's not technically a real braid, but whatever. They use their fingers like this. Alright, this is amazingly boring. wrapping solder, but it needs to be done for what I'm about to be doing, so I don't have to do it twice. I had to stop in the middle a while ago so I could finish wrapping. So now I don't have to anymore. Ta-da! So time to get on the next one. There we go. There we go. There are some parts about this that's just not super interesting, and other parts that's just the coolest thing in the world. And to some of you, you'll think all of it's awesome, which is the reason I do this. Because I have to build it anyway, so I might as well share. Otherwise, I'm just sitting here like a crazy person talking to myself. Nah, I'd usually play some music or something. I think my ragtag bench is getting the job done for the most part. And my little bitty bench vise, or whatever, bench clamp, bench, whatever the heck you want to call this thing, is doing a good job. You can tell I'm right at the weight limit of it holding down. The resin. When the resin gets exposed to open flame, or the rosin core gets exposed to open flame, then it'll burn.
Will you open that thing and set the lightning bugs free?
Go free, lightning bugs. No. There's 3 right here. Here goes 1. Uh-oh. Ian, where you at? Okay, cool, we good. Thought I heard him coming back. 1 free. You're not in a safe place. You need to go somewhere else. Some lightning bugs. Go away. Really? Oh, poor guy.
They might live up north. They don't get to see lightning bugs.
Oh my gosh. Any of you guys never seen a lightning bug? So, there they are. Apparently, this has turned into a bug aquarium. Go fly. Go, buddy. Give me a break, man. Whatever. Grab my hand.
Technically, our air has water right now.
What the heck are you talking about?
You said aquarium.
What did I say? Well, I said I did.
It's turned into a bug aquarium. It's
Oh,
not an
what?
aquarium.
What do you call the reptile one? The
Terranium.
terranium. I have no clue what an insect habitat's supposed to be, but there they go. They're off into the world. Yeah, there's a battery terminal over here. Will you hand me that, please? Pretty please. I'm about to fall.
Which one? This one?
The whole thing, please.
It's hot.
Not that hot. Yes, that's where you tie it to the battery terminal. You plug it in right here. You can disconnect it from a main source so you don't have a live wire connected to the battery when it's all the way on the other end of the vehicle or something like that. So that's the reason why you do this. This is a quick disconnect. Just allows you to disconnect a monster wire easily, especially when you're talking about 9/16 bolts and crap like that a lot of times connecting these things. Sometimes you'll catch a 7/16 in there and stuff like that, but most of the time, I mean, when you're dealing with that stuff, it's a much bigger bolt. There's water in there. Alright, so there's that one. So that's half of that. And then we've got one more over here. Here it is. The last part of this series that I'm really going to show y'all. I still got one more LC40, but it's a pain to deal with, and I don't know. I'm not going to show it on a video just because this is already long enough. So I'll end it at one completed harness, which is, I don't know, how long have I been out here? Long enough.
It's dark.
Well, it was almost dark when I started. It's dark 30. If you're hooking, now that's if you can do jumper cables that way too. I didn't read the whole message, so you can build jumper cables that way with quick disconnects. So I've actually, a lot of the industrial guys or the guys that do rollbacks and do stuff for commercial vehicles and stuff, they'll have a quick disconnect tied off their battery, and they'll have 2 clamps set up to jump people's vehicles off with, and that's just literally built off of a quick disconnect. They'll jump off big trucks with it. But if you're talking about just connecting to amplifier or something like that, it just hook to the amplifier with one side with a quick disconnect, and then hook to terminals on the other side to the battery. And then if you want to disconnect the battery separate of that system, you just add another quick disconnect in line. Add as many as you like, because they never hurt. As long as you terminate them correctly, they'll do fine. Yay! That's enough. Alright. Huh? Nothing? I said, yay, just enough. If that's what you're asking. Yes. Just what I needed. Alright, so now from here, of course, you can do whatever method you want. I mean, I don't know if I have anything. There you go. I'm just using. This is just the condensation on the side of a cup. It doesn't take much to cool stuff off. Now, of course, it'll be still too hot to burn you, but it won't be. The solder will bond. Let me see that, please. I think I can reach it. All right, here we go. Completed harness. One. Oh no, you little turd.
Oh, my leg. It's really close to your leg.
No, it's fine. I know where it's at.
Okay.
I can feel it. If I feel it going towards me, then I will definitely jerk it fast. One. Oh. Drop a little bit of resin. Keep it clean. Ta-da! There's one half of the harness. It's not very light, but it's not supposed to be. In order to, you have to have a current carrying conductor in order to carry capacity, so it takes weight to do that, or it takes mass. You can have what's called superconductors that are light and all that other mess, but whatever. And there's the other end, so quick disconnect. So plug in the quick disconnect, there you go. Instead of taking this right here and go, I made you guys jump, didn't I? Instead of taking you guys right here and having to unbolt whatever you're hooking up, you can simply quick disconnect. Much easier when you're dealing with something like this. You went inside, so we set your bugs free. You can always get more later.
I thought you were asleep.
It's okay. We set them free. They needed to breathe. All right. All right. So now I'm not completely done. I've got one more piece to do, but I am very close. I am going to call it a night because it's been a very long day for me. But I have one more piece to do, and this entire harness is done. I'll kind of show you guys the rest of it. I'll show you what else is left too. Oh Lord! Here's the rest of it, y'all. There's the two grounds for one other setup, and here is a 15-foot main harness. I still have to put another quick disconnect in line right here, and then I will be complete on this job. So that's lots of 4-aught, lots of fun, and more to go on future endeavors. But this project will be complete after one more connector. That's kind of the gist of this. I got to put another piece of heat shrink on this end, and then that part will be done, and then we'll have this whole harness complete. Alright guys, I'll catch you guys later. You'll have a good night. Waving a hand. What's up, Randy? And I'll catch you guys later. Y'all have a good evening.